Hello, hello, or should it be good evening? Welcome back to the Coop De Villa podcast. I'm Noah Fisher, and as you guys can see, we're joined with Scottie, Tommy, and Aman, and we're here to review the Newcastle game. Well, really brush over the Newcastle game, but get into the more important details about Unai Emery's first official day at Aston Villa, and that's coming to you after this. All right, guys. So, not much really to talk about the game, but something we have to touch on, I guess, is the 4-0 shellacking at St James's Park after such a promising, I guess, managerial bounce against Brentford. But before I hand off to Scottie, I'll quickly ask you a question, mate. What went wrong?
Okay, well, a lot went wrong. It's a pretty loaded question. I think basically we threw in the towel, I think, is the thing that I'm most annoyed with. I think Aaron Danks deserved a lot better than that. And I think once the penalty went in, we just thought, oh, well, we've got a new manager next week. Bugger it. It will just, it was really like poor. Some of the players really annoyed me. Coutinho, when he came on with all the flicks and stuff, that just really annoyed me. I think Tyrone Mings dropped the ball and sort of really sort of threw in the towel. I think Dougie Luiz had a decent first half, but then after I don't know what he was doing on that penalty. It was terrible. He lost the ball on the edge of the penalty area. It was awful. But there was about 3 or 4 players that really didn't look like they wanted to be there, and they were just waiting for this week.
I mean that's fair enough, but this is something we've seen before. I'm not sure if you guys remember 2010. Martin O'Neill resigned on the eve of the season. We won the first game against West Ham. Second game of caretaker management, we go to St James's Park and get absolutely walloped 6-0 that day. So is it history repeating itself? And then we might steady the ship hopefully after this, but time will tell, eh?
It will. I think Emery's got a lot of work to do. What do you think, Tommy? What were your thoughts on the Newcastle debacle?
Look, let's just write it off. There's probably not a whole lot to touch on. If we won, we could talk a lot more about it. But yeah, I don't know. I remember there was reading something, and I think there was a culture problem at Villa. They reckon I think some of the players were starting to run the show, and we touched on this last week or the week before, whenever it was. Feels like forever ago. I think there was a culture problem, and I think Emery's here to shake that up. And I think that's why they went and got he's an absolute football junkie from what I'm hearing, and just a tactical genius. So he's here to shake things up. And if you don't fit in his system, we look at Neil Cutler, right? One of the best in the business. That Emery said, nope, I'm bringing who I want. Suck it, So I like him already. Let's just put Newcastle aside. Let's focus on Emery. Let's look forward now. I think really bright horizons. I don't want to say I'm the Messiah, but I did call it. Now, if anyone is listening, I didn't call it with Pochettino or Tuchel, but I did say we need to go out there and actually pay out someone's contract. And I think everyone's saying Villa's a step down for Emery, right? The amount of Europa and Champions League success he's had with what little he could. I think he got dealt a pretty shit hand at Arsenal. Everyone said it's never easy to replace Wenger, and I think a lot of the players were past their prime, so he was trying to build something, and funds were tight. So I think he's at a club, where what he wants to do and the ambitions of the owners actually kind of align. So I'm really excited. A lot more excited than when we got Stevie G, because I think we're all kind of, saying we wanted someone established and proven. Emery's had some Premier League success, but I think he gave Saka, Martinelli, a couple of these other ones like their first run. So he loves their youth, which is great.
Tommy, you say he didn't do well at Arsenal. He finished there with a 55% win rate.
Yeah, all right, you fucking nerd. Chill out.
I'm saying, like, that's the expectations that Arsenal fans had.
I did see that, right? Yeah, because again, coming from what Wenger's achieved, it's like boys at United, right? Didn't work out. Look at him now at West Ham. He's transformed the club. So yeah, I think we've got a really good manager on our hands, and I think I've heard his English has improved quite a lot. I do know he's a Peaky Blinders fan, as he said. And so, given it's set in Birmingham, he was actually watching Peaky Blinders to work on his English back in Arsenal days. So I'd love to see if his English has improved. I think that was one thing they said. There was a bit of a language barrier between him and players. But I think Diego Carlos will understand him pretty easily.
Definitely, yeah.
See?
I think he'll do well. I think I don't think it's going to be free-flowing football. It's going to be pretty hard to watch at times in terms of the style and the maybe cautious approach. But, he's a winner, and I think he's certainly got a lot more going for him than maybe some of our previous coaches. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But Aman, about the Newcastle game, I know you switched off after 3-0, was it? Like 2-0?
Yeah. Switched off / fell asleep because I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no point staying up anymore. I thought really, to be honest, I enjoyed the first half. I thought we could have scored at least one. I think it was Buendia that missed a chance. But it wasn't like the first half. We were dominated and lucky to be in it, and at 1-0 down. We played well, to get the ball into the front third. Just you could tell our quality in the front third with guys like Ollie and Bailey at times. Should have put the ball in the first time a few times, or there's a couple of times where he tried to put the ball in first time and it went straight into Pope's hands or went out for a goal kick or something like that. But I think, yeah, the biggest difference between you look at a team like Newcastle and you look at a team like us, on paper, I would take our team every day of the week. But you see the difference of actually watching Newcastle play. I haven't watched Newcastle play all this season, and going into this game why are they in fourth position? Is it because of fluke results? But they have 11 players on the pitch that work and put in effort. The amount of times when we had the ball in our front right hand side, you had Dan Bird, one of the centre mids, and then Joe Linton, 3 on 2 against our winger and our fullback. And then next minute they're all up the field again. So I think it just goes to show what a good manager who can motivate his players and get them to play for him can do. And hopefully Emery can do that for our current set of players, or get the players in that that are going to fight for him.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy to see guys like Joel Linton and Longstaff and Almiron, these guys that were really terrible. A year or two ago.
Right, that's a sign of a good manager. Getting the best out of shit, because Almiron's been crap for years until he's turned into Messi all of a sudden, right? Yeah. Career form. But I wonder, is that just confidence? Is he riding a wave, or is that just, I don't know, is he taking his game to that next level now? Even Joe Linton, wasn't he a forward originally? Now they play him plays him like a 6, and he's been a revelation. I think the Brazil coach was actually at the game. Titties, whatever his name is. He was there because he's got Phil, he's got Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Guimaraes and Joe Linton, I heard a lot about him. You see him on the EPL forums, fantasy football. Yeah, that's my source of intel. But I just feel like they're a Rolls Royce, right? They took a little while to get going. Them two started to kick into gear. I think that's where Newcastle started to run us off our feet early second half.
Definitely, and their third goal was a class goal. I mean, we couldn't do anything about that. But I think we certainly dropped the ball in terms of, it's just some of the attitude and the body language on the field was really disappointing. I don't think Aaron Danks, deserved that at all. And let's just sort of put a line under that one. We've lost 4-0. We've won 4-0 in the other game that Danks was involved. So we did get points, 3 points from his 2 games, which is probably more than we expected after Stevie G was sacked. And, we can look forward now to a new era under Unai Emery. And let's talk about, Noah, what do you think that's going to look like in terms of formation, setup, and that sort of thing?
Just before I touch on that, I just want to quickly give credit to the Villa fans that were at St James's Park. I know a lot of them did
sold out.
Did leave early, which it's hard to blame. It's such a long trip up to Newcastle. But the ones that stuck around, you could still hear them on the TV when we're getting battered 4-0. Aman, you might not have heard that because you might have fallen asleep. But they're actually having like a party up there. Those fans that were left. Not sure you've seen it all on Twitter and all that kind of stuff, but they were loving it. And you got to give respect to that. So fair play.
Mate, drugs and alcohol, it's a deadly combo.
Yeah,
I don't know what kind of party you'd be having. But,
I did hear them at one point singing, "Don't get carried away. We lose every week."
Yeah,
it was.
They're having a good laugh. We haven't won away this season. I don't think we have I think we got 2 points on the road this season. But credit where credit's due. We always sell out our away ends. But moving on to Unai Emery. I think we'll either play one of 2 formations, a 4-4-2, which I know he likes to play a lot, with someone on the left-hand side that's not like a winger, but like a midfielder, like inverted midfielder. So you play Giovanni Lo Celso out there for Villarreal. So that could either be Buendia or it could be Jacob Ramsey. And then he always has a winger on the right that bombs up a lot. So perfect for Leon Bailey, in my opinion. And then he always has like two strikers. Watkins and Ings would work perfectly. So I think he has, what's his name? Dan Juma, which would be like the Watkins kind of role. Then Jared Moreno, which would be the Ings kind of role, or vice versa. And I think he also plays a 4-2-3-1 as well. He has the ability to adjust to that, which we have to players to. But I'll tell you what, I'm excited for when we get Kamara back, which could easily be the United game, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Apparently he's back on the grass. I mean, we'll hear from Emery any minute. We haven't had any official press conferences from him.
Who gets dropped, Noah? Luis or Dendoncker?
I think it'll be Dendoncker.
You reckon?
Sadly. I think it will be. I think Luis and Kamara would be a deadly duo in that passage of play. We always say, for example, Nakamba and Luis would be good. Imagine what Kamara and Luis would be like. So I think sadly it'd be Dendoncker, even though he played he played one really good game and one average game. No one was really good against Newcastle.
I was going to say, you can't single him out, right?
Nah. But I'm excited. The way that Emery sets up the team, I think it really will suit our players.
I'll just quickly interject. So one downfall is one thing I was reading, some Spanish mates. I know they go tactical genius, but they go for long-term stability. That's the question mark with Emery, because he loves changing things up. He loves chopping. He loves this formation's never the same. The players you see this week are probably different in 2 weeks, and that creates a bit of havoc within the squad, right? Because usually, if you've got your starting 11, you're starting 11. If there's an injury or two, all right, impact subs, whatever. But with Emery, he's not afraid to change the whole thing up, which is good, but also that's probably the one caution I'd have long term. But again, he's a tactical junkie, right? I think you just YouTube, right? Unai Emery set plays. This guy's a wizard, man. He's an absolute junkie. Loves his football analysis, loves his tapes. So I think this guy's an absolute junkie, and that's what we do, right?
He's already planning for the United game now. He asked all the Villa analysis to send him tapes, more tapes.
Yeah,
and so he's already planning.
Was it? He was watching. Who did United West Ham? He had some people there apparently.
Watching the game. So he is an absolute nuffy, and I respect that, because he'll come in and his first day of training today and already know what he wants to try and implement. You know what I mean? Like he'll have trainings, like tactics, what he thinks his team can achieve.
But it's that's what we want, right? Because club teams have been a pretty shit house, right? He's coming saying, all right, these are the problem areas. We're going to fucking address them now, right? Yeah. And if we can get a win against United, like that's huge for confidence.
I never got those feelings from Gerrard either. He was like that, and he was never flexible. I mean, it sounds like it's a 4-4-2, but it can be a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, depending on the stage of the game.
It changes in
the
game.
Opponent.
But if once the team sheet came out for Gerrard, there was no tactical change. But to be fair, the players didn't look like they had any idea what they're doing anyway. But once the team was out, we're like, that's how we're playing.
What do you mean the team was out? I'm pretty sure we knew the same unchanged 11, irrespective of...
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, we knew what subs he was going to make, if being Archer on the 90th minute, all this kind of stuff, like random stuff where Emery kind of, if we go 1-0 down, we'll play that more attacking 4-3-3 where Watkins would go out to the left. And
that's the best part, right? Well, like sometimes we're down 2-0. We're playing defensive. Why we got 4 centre backs still? Like there's what are we, damage control?
I think the games that I look back on, if we had Emery in charge, Leeds away and Forest away, we would have taken maximum points under Emery, in my
100%.
opinion.
I still think we're doing all right. I think we'll avoid relegation, but I think it'll be around that 10 to 14 this year. That would be an achievement. But
I'll snap your hand off for that now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be dicey. I mean, like if he gets on a bad run or if he doesn't start well. I mean, I don't think
fans got to back him, Scott.
I don't think we get relegated either, but I think it's going to be closer than maybe 14.
No, we're not. This is not. We're not getting Sean Dyche, right? We've got he's like the Wish.com Guardiola, which I'll take. Not bad, right? But this guy's a junkie, Scott. He's done great things. He went to Villarreal and he's done great things with them there. Sevilla, honestly, I'd be thinking like, the fuck do you... Also, what about the Villa thing, right? He's done Sevilla, Villarreal, Aston Villa.
And managed David Villa.
And managed David.
I think the thing that's going to work in his favour is that we've got the World Cup break. had he come in and it was a normal season where, you know, December's a massive run of games, he's trying to implement a style in, and, you know, we go on to lose 3 or 4 on the trot, we'd defo be in a relegation battle. But I think with the World Cup break, he's got time to, you know, implement his style with, you know, our players. And realistically, how many of our players are going to the World Cup? Emi Martinez.
I think 4.
Because the team's shit, they're all going to be praying. That's what I'll think.
Well, the ones I can name are like Cash, Bednarek, Martinez.
Is Bednarek really that big of a loss?
Yeah, but I'm saying he's the player that's going to the World Cup that's on our books. Olsen will probably, he'll go.
Sweden?
I think they are.
Yeah, they're in there. Yeah.
Just because
but he'll have the bulk of the squad to like, okay, really hone in. I think I read something.
Kamara? Or did he?
I don't know how true it is, but we're going to Dubai for a training camp.
Still going to Dubai. Still going to Dubai.
So we'll, you know, got a few weeks to implement his style, double sessions. Hopefully, if I can make him run, get him fit, you know, and then come out firing for
I feel like we
second half of this season.
We still had Lex against Newcastle, funny enough. So I don't know if it's Danksy, but I feel like the team look a lot fitter the last 2 weeks.
I think they had a point to prove now. If you want to play,
Brentford, man, we're full of sprint and just, you know, I don't know. I did say there's some question marks over where Danks will be within the club. So I hope that Emery's, I don't know, maybe he's that type, not stubborn, but he's like, hey, I've got my staff. I'm bringing who I bring, right?
Well, pretty much it looks like Danks is apparently getting offered another job within the club. The only one that stays, believe it or not, is Austin McPhee. I can't believe he's hanging around still. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, but then I don't know.
Neil Cutler's meant to be one of the best goalkeeping coaches in England, and
but then again, I do know the Villarreal coach. I think they had Sergio Asenjo. He was like the most hacked guy when you sign him on like FIFA, whatever it was. He was like 18 and 85. Anyway, so I know that they've got a very good goalkeeper coach. I wonder if he comes with Emery, he'll do really good for Martinez, because Asenjo's a freak.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's exciting, you know, considering we got whopped 4-0. I think times are looking good ahead. I think we're forgetting, you know, the best part about this club is management and leadership, right? We've got Sawiris and Edens. These guys are just throwing money. I think they said the next coach will get 100 million Jan. So I think it would be an interesting Jan if we can get between that 10 to 15 around there, and then, you know, get some funds in Jan. I do know Emery likes to find gems, right? So good players that he can kind of grow, which again, I don't know if that's, you know, the way we want to go forward, but, you know, we don't want to kind of be a breeding and feeding club again. But if he signs the young guns,
I think we need some defenders. I think that's
Carlos is such a big out.
Yeah. We need probably a centre back.
What do you reckon?
You know, maybe bring back Kessler Hayden as well. Like,
I would, or even
a bit of pressure on Cash.
What about you know, changes within the current squad? Do you reckon Emery could shake it up a bit? Because he's coming there. Everyone's got a clean slate with a new coach, right?
I think so. I hope so. I mean, I think guys like you know, McGinn, Ramsey, these kind of guys, they're going to have to sort of prove themselves again. They were maybe getting a little bit comfortable under Gerrard, and you know, their form was, you know, had dropped quite a bit. I think you know, Ollie Watkins is another one you can put in that bracket. Like if he doesn't rate you, he's not going to play you. He knows what it takes to win trophies. He's done it at 3 different clubs. So, you know, let's go. Let's get that winning formula, that winning.
I'm calling it now. Another Tommy prediction, since most of them are right. Big name striker forward coming in Jan. 40, I reckon 50 mil. Big one, big name. That's been our problem area, right? We don't have that dangerous striker. Like,
I think it's been the service to the forwards, to be honest.
I don't know. No, I like you. Some forwards can create their own, and some need service. So I think we'll get a forward that can do it all.
Here's your prediction.
But if we said to you 3 years ago that we get Danny Ings, right? You'd be like, yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. That's the 50 million. That's the 50 million striker we need. Danny Ings, get him in. He scores wherever he goes.
Ings is the poacher. He needs the ball in the box. So I'm saying we need someone that can run at defenders and just give him the ball, do whatever.
So basically, we need Haaland then, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Or I'm thinking someone along the lines of like Nkunku.
We're never getting Nkunku.
He's going to Chelsea, bro.
Speaking Jan, no one believes me. When I said out, no one believed me.
You should turn your FIFA off, I reckon.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
He's gonna probably start for France with Mbappe and Benzema.
Hey,
up front.
Kamara, text him. How you going, brother? Come to Villa.
Digne as well. Get him
Mate,
all on.
Everyone loves Digne. I love yous, but honestly, his defense is really sus. He's great going forward.
Just come back, bro. He didn't do anything really that bad on the weekend.
That's
Did
for
he?
France, yeah. It's easy to bomb forward and you got Varane behind. You're not fucking Mings. It's a bit different.
I actually thought he looked okay when he came.
So did
on.
I. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he looked all right.
Yeah, but
Matt Target, they're licking his lips now, Villa. He's laughing. Fucking ginger cunt.
So yeah, so it's Manchester United on the weekend, then it's Manchester United again, isn't it, in the League Cup? So 2 different games, 2 different competitions. We probably get to see maybe 2 different teams in those 2 games. It's going to be interesting to see. And he is the cup guy. So could we go on a cup run? We're still.
I don't want to be the Carling Cup. Whoever wins that one usually gets relegated. So I'll pass on that
I mean,
one.
it's known as the Man City Cup these days.
Mate, I've only seen us win the League Cup, so I would love us to win the League Cup. I'd love to win.
I'd love to win.
Imagine we get into Europe off like the FA Cup. It'd be so funny.
I mean, the money we'd get wouldn't be funny. I'd absolutely take that.
I think you do for the FA Cup.
I wonder what his contract.
Europa League.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Europa. I think he might get the Conference League these days,
I
whatever it is.
don't know what Emery's getting paid at Villa because I think it's a 7 million termination fee on his current contract. So
He's on a massive contract. That's all I know.
they did say they're offering up to 10 mil to the right manager. So I reckon he'd be between 6 to 10 mil.
Well, Gerrard was on 5, I think.
Yeah, I reckon he's probably 8, 9. He's on big bucks.
He's on a bit.
Yeah.
Let's go from Villarreal to Villa.
Well, we've got the money. It's not like we don't have the money. I'm not worried about that. And
I think it's opportunity, right? Like any job, sometimes you're going to go out of your comfort zone, probably, not really money, but he's been offered a big package, spending. I don't know, maybe Villarreal got more of a tight budget, and they're pretty big on breeding youth, that club, right? So I think there's a lot at stake for him at Villa.
Well, his career's been quite interesting because at Seville he kind of like built himself up to one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Then got the Arsenal job after Wenger. Big signing, big potential. Like they thought he was going to do big things. Then it sort of didn't go how he wanted. Then he gets the PSG job, and again he wins trophies with PSG, but everyone wins trophies with PSG. And it kind of worked, but didn't work again there. And then he goes
than Poch.
Yeah, he done better than Poch. And then he goes to Villarreal where he does great again. So it's been up and down a little bit, but I think we've got so much potential, and he could be that final piece of the puzzle. But I've said it all before. I said it when Gerrard came in. I said it, years ago when we got guys like Martin O'Neill or whatever, and he did well for a while, but we all know what he was like behind the scenes, and he kind of made some dodgy decisions that cost us for years to come.
Yeah, but a lot of players talk good things about Emery, and that's another thing, right? Like Gerrard, you can hear about what was said, but general consensus about Emery is that he seems like a pretty good dude, like Guardiola, right? You're bound to have a few loose screws when your life's just dedicated to football.
And, if we play a more possession-based game with
awesome.
A Spanish coach and with a that sort of more tiki-taka style, I think that's gonna help us, because I think that's something we're not very good at the moment. We don't know how to keep the ball very well. And, hopefully he can bring in a few of the players he wants and improve some of the ones that are here already. And, if we have a good finish to the season, then next season could be an absolutely huge one.
I don't think we have the players right now to play a possession-based game of football. Like people like Ollie Watkins, Tyrone Mings, Ezri Konsa, Matty Cash to an extent. They're not players.
Carlos and Kamara playing keepings off.
They're not players, that are great technically and have a good first touch. Their first touch is always getting them into trouble, or it's not doing them any favors. No. So if he does want to play that way, we probably need reinforcements in January. But I think that was Gerrard's biggest issue. He was trying to make us a team to basically be like a Liverpool or something like that, thinking we have a team full of world beaters and, just playing the same 11 over and over and over again, thinking, yeah, it's going to change this game, it's going to change this game, it's going to change, and nothing ever changed. And he got the sack. So, I think it was either Noah or you, Scott, that talked about Emery's flexibility and chopping and changing every week. I think it's a good thing. Keeps players on their toes, makes them know that if you do have a bad game, you're not going to play the next week.
I think that's the other problem with Gerrard, right? Oh, you drop Ollie, the fans, he's a fan favourite, whatever. Mate, if you bring in Archer, or if we bring in a forward and Kunku, whoever, right? And if they're scoring every game, Ollie, thanks for the memories kind of thing, right? So don't be afraid to chop and change. You've got to back yourself. And that's one thing. Do you reckon we might see Chambers in for concert? Because Chambers, I don't know, I feel like he's been dealt another harsh hand. I feel like he was in good form and keeps going to the bench, the poor guy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I agree with you. I think that when he's played, he hasn't done a thing wrong, and it's not like the rest of the defense are, flying high or anything. We've had lots of mistakes, lots of sort of poor performances. But I would suggest that he's going to probably bring in his own people in those positions.
Yeah, but just in the interim, right? Wasn't Chambers at Arsenal when Emery was there?
Yeah,
it would have been. Yeah,
Emery was there. Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah. You never know, right? I'd love to see Chambers start. He's better on the ball. He can ping a long ball. He's a much better goal threat. He can actually score a worldie from outside the box if he feels like it.
And he's a good defender. I haven't seen him, look terrible in any of the games he's played. I'd be for that. He's
never had a bad game. He's never had he's had a couple blinds, but he's never been like Mings-esque when it's just really shit and obvious.
And he did score in his last game versus Manchester United in Perth.
Well.
That's true. The equaliser.
Yeah, I'd be keen to see Dendoncker at centre back when Kamara comes back in, because Dendoncker can obviously, he's a ball playing player as well. He's got the size there. He's got the engine as well. Can keep the ball, so he could possibly be that player that can play the ball out from the back. So could be a shout, but whether or not it happens might not happen. We could just see Consa stay there till January, and then hopefully see someone like Pau Torres, which I think is probably more realistic than in Kunku, but yeah,
just a little bit, yeah.
We're talking Jan, honestly. It'll be a big. If not in Kunku, I think it'll be like a 50 million strike. It'll be a big.
And Kunku's going to Chelsea, bro.
We'll get Neymar or someone.
Yeah.
And Kunku's not a 50 million striker. He's going to sign for just under 100 million.
Yeah, that's 50 million.
Yeah.
Look, all right. Well, we'll wrap up there. Before we go, we'll do predictions for Man United at home on Sunday. Is it Sunday night?
Yeah, Sunday night, Monday morning for us.
Monday night for the Melbourne boys. Tommy, what do you think? Emery's first game. Give us your predictions.
Realistic, I think. Well, they got no Bruno Fernandes, but I'm going to go with 2-2. I think it'll be like Leon Bailey to score and Danny Ings, and I think Anthony will score for them. Score one of their two.
Okay, so 2-2.
Yeah.
Noah?
We haven't beaten them at Villa Park for a very, very, very long time. I don't think I've seen us beat them there since I've been a Villa fan.
95,
sadly,
I think. When
it's going to continue.
Yeah. Noah, go for a draw, you prick.
No, mate. Do you want my honest prediction or what? I think 2-1. I think 2-1 United.
2-1 United. Look.
What's your Villa bias prediction?
Villa bias 3-0 Villa.
That's right. Thanks, Roy. We missed you.
Aman?
Villa bias prediction. I can't even give a prediction for us to win. So I'd say Villa bias prediction 2-2 draw. At best, no. But yeah, I'll take a draw. I'll take a draw.
At best 1-1.
Yeah. No draw. Stop the rot, and then
clean sheet.
we beat them in the cup game. I'd take that.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take a cup win.
Yeah.
Well, I think we will win. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say 1-0 and a dodgy penalty, VAR, and put away by Danny Ings.
Oh God, please.
Yeah, like Leeds, right? Leeds, the young kid. He got the last-minute winner against Liverpool. Fucking suck it.
That's it. All right. Well, hopefully it will be United that will be sucking it on Sunday night. Emery's first game, new era, big times for Villa. Hopefully we can get off to a good start and start to bring a bit of the feel good factor back to Villa Park. Thanks all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. I know there's a lot of you that do watch that don't subscribe, so please fix that because it helps us a lot. And write your comments in the below the video and let us know what you think of Emery, what you think he's going to look like on game day, who's going to be the big winners and losers.
Are we gonna play the outfit selection? We're gonna go with the suit, the sports jacket.
Oh,
He's a suit. He's a suit operator.
Loves his long trench coat and he's that much gelling.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a suit operator.
Mafia boss level 10.
But guys, thanks again for watching, and we will see you next week. Up the Villa. Later.